You never really know your neighbors until they try to take what's yours. That was the lesson I learned shortly after moving into my uncle's ranch house in Pine Brook Hollow. It's a quiet, tucked-away neighborhood surrounded by oak trees, wind chimes, and people who mostly keep to themselves. My uncle, who built the house and pool with his bare hands back in the '80s, had left me the place when he passed. It was my last link to him, and I poured my grief into fixing up the pool he'd built. Then came Linda Molleray. She was the HOA's self-appointed enforcer. Blonde bob, big sunglasses, and a clipboard glued to her hand. The first time I saw her, she came marching up my driveway while I was skimming leaves from the pool. Without even a greeting, she demanded that I unlock the pool gate for guests she was expecting. I told her, calmly, that I wasn't part of the HOA, but she just smiled and insisted the pool was a shared amenity according to their bylaws. I knew something was off, but I didn't expect this to be the start of a war. As it turns out, my uncle had made sure the property was exempt from HOA rules, a legal stipulation that was signed by the county back in the '90s. But Linda didn't care. She started sending me violation notices, threatening fines, and even had kids using my pool like it was their own. Middle-aged women lounged by the pool as if they owned the place. I had enough. I built a solid cedar fence, added a security camera, and installed a digital lock. But Linda wasn't done. She came back with a locksmith, claiming my lock was illegal. It was clear this wasn't just about the pool anymore. It was a power trip for her. I dug through my uncle's old files and found the court ordered that legally exempted us from the HOA. I had the proof, but Linda wasn't backing down. She even let strangers into my pool area with a spare key. I changed the locks again, but things were only heating up. One day, Linda showed up on my property screaming and calling the cops. But when I handed the officers the mountain of documents I'd gathered, they told her it wasn't even her jurisdiction. She started fake crying, but the process server was already on his way with a restraining order. Linda's reaction? She ran. Sandals flapping, she sprinted across my neighbor's yard trying to escape the legal fallout. They caught her, and after a few choice words from the police, she finally understood the consequences. But it wasn't over. Over the next few weeks, I found my pool cover slashed, my mailbox destroyed, and chlorine dumped into the pool. I caught footage of a figure sneaking around my property late at night. I upgraded my security, adding steel mailboxes, thermal cameras, and even drones, but Linda was relentless. I received a letter with a red X on it. "The pool is ours. Watch your back." It was clear this was bigger than Linda. It was a community-wide issue. Travis, a nervous HOA board member, told me about a secret slush fund and how Greg, the HOA treasurer, had been using it to push people around. Greg even showed up at my house pretending to play nice, but his intentions were clear. One night, I caught Greg backing into my fence with a truck. The next night, he tried to set my deck on fire. I got him on camera, and when the cops arrived, they took him away in cuffs. The tide was turning. I went to the news, armed with footage and all the documentation. My story went viral, and people from other neighborhoods came forward, sharing their own HOA horror stories. It turned out Linda had done this before, forcing people to give up their property and abusing her power. But this time, things were different. The HOA was disbanded, Greg was arrested, and Linda was exposed as the fraud she truly was. 2 months later, I got a letter from the county. A neighbor had passed away, and because of everything I'd done to expose the HOA, the court granted me their land, 5 additional acres. Linda tried to take my pool, but instead I got more land. Now I sit on my porch, the peaceful sound of kids playing in the distance. It's mine, and no clipboard-wielding HOA officer is going to take that away from me.